all of a sudden ants started crawling out of the crevices of his body. He was a large man. Hemisected penis, cut in half. It just, ugh.
Oh no, for Victor's job, you gotta sit and watch freshly dead people.
Like, oh, I don't feel like going to work today. Welcome back, everybody.
Oh, deadly intro, Mrs. Lush.
Heck yeah.
Oh, yeah, thanks. Guys, this is Victor M. Sweeney. We have a bit of a history with Victor on this channel. He was featured on some Wired videos years ago that went very viral. My wife and I reacted to him. He is a small town mortician from Minnesota, and he was just very interesting and eloquent the way he talked about preparing dead bodies after, after they're gone. So over the years, I think we've done about 3 videos reacting to various videos of Victor on Wired, and it had been a while since we talked about him, but recently he reached out to my wife in the DMs. Victor, I see you, buddy.
Don't make it sound creepy or anything like that.
Oh, bro, you might be handsome and wear cool glasses, Victor, but let's see the muscles, pal. Didn't think so. Just because you can get a dead body ready.
Cool videos too.
He does. Cooler videos than us, for sure.
Stop. So Victor had let us know that he made a new video with Wired, but more importantly, he also let me know that he's got a new book coming out.
A man dropped a book. He's taken a little bit of that online notoriety through the Wired videos, dropped a little book, and it looks cool. And I said, you know what, Victor? We've used your videos for a long time on this channel. I have no problem shouting out the book. It's dropping probably the week this video comes out.
October 14th.
Available for order, but we thought what a good opportunity to watch his newer video, which is called Are You Scared of Death? Mortician answers your questions, because it always creates some fun conversation, because death is one of those interesting topics that is tough to talk about, but Victor does it typically quite eloquently. So let's try it out.
I did an embalming
Warning,
a couple nights ago. Person would not stop pooing, and so then I had to stick the hose up their bum, and their belly got all distended, and then you push on the belly to push the poo out, and it's just this nasty poop water, and nobody likes it, but it's for the greater good, because you don't want that poo to leak out at a different time.
Man.
Well, they picked the right clip to start the video on, huh?
Somebody's got to do it.
Yeah, man.
Someone's got to do this job.
Ain't gonna be me. It's gonna be Victor.
But why do I love hearing about it so much? Like, it's just one of those things that every time we do one of these videos, I just light up. I'm all excited.
You're that weird nurse, like you love medical stuff. It's not like medical, but it's like similar.
It is.
Gross. I guess it is. Honesty box. So we're gonna go through, we're gonna pick some of the most interesting questions, hear Victor's take on it, and then do the old chat about it, Lush Life thing.
I'm Victor M. Sweeney,
there he is.
licensed mortician and funeral director.
Hey.
And today we're going to answer some questions.
Long time history on the Lush Life channel. We used to joke about you having a crush on him back in
I know, that's weird. Like I'm married, I don't have a crush 2019. On anybody but you.
I think it was me manifesting it through you, because I was,
Just because I get so excited every time we see him.
The honest box. Let's begin.
Let's begin, bro.
I only got eyes for you.
Yeah, you're damn right. I only got eyes for Victor.
What is embalming? So embalming, as we practice it, is the preservation and disinfection of human body.
You've been paying attention.
It's done by removing the blood, where bacteria like to grow, and replacing it with an embalming fluid, usually made out of an aldehyde or an alcohol. So one of the things about a dead body is that it's not necessarily dangerous per se, but the reason we embalm is because as soon as we die, our bodies start to break down. In the span of even an hour after death, all those bacteria that are in your guts that help you digest your food, they run wild because there's no immune system to suppress them. So give that a couple days, let's say, while we're waiting for the funeral to happen, and unchecked, those bacteria will cause the body to bloat or turn green or the skin to slough off. It's very gross, especially when we're dealing with time between a death and a funeral. Embalming is your friend.
Yeah, yes. Very basic introductory question, but still he always does such a good job at describing things.
Right, he really does.
Oh, what does death smell like? Ooh.
Death.
Friend.
I think that's an interesting question, because
death
when you smell something really bad, you're like, oh, that smells like death.
Bad. You ever smelled rotting meat, rotting vegetables? Something like that. It's pretty gross. Our
bacterial caveman
brains that we still possess don't like the smell of dead things, and they really don't like the smell of dead people. It has there's some distinct odor that a dead human person has that a dead dog, let's say, doesn't give off. Very gross. What was the first dead body?
Can't really describe it unless you've smelt it before, probably. I think I'm fortunate enough to have never smelled a dead human. But
I've seen dead humans, but not decaying ones, fortunately.
No, yeah, in a clinical setting, typically. Same with me.
Or saw.
The first
You said
day.
dead peeps?
So not every mortician has this
You
experience.
said dead people?
I think I did a cadaver thing once in college.
Okay, so they
No,
were
yeah, it was a
past the preservation phase.
clinical setting. Yeah, it wasn't like a freshly dead person. No, haven't been that lucky.
For those that don't know, I was a nurse before.
You
in
are
my
still a
past
nurse,
life.
you just
I am,
don't-
oh, sorry.
you
Yes,
just
I
don't
am
practice.
a nurse. I haven't practiced for a
Couple years.
4 or 5 years.
What was the first dead body you ever saw? Okay, so not every mortician has this experience, but I did. The first dead body I ever saw in real life was my best friend who died in his bed, and I found him when I was 3.
I remember. You think you told the story before?
But I don't know if that one counts. Maybe it
probably
does.
in the
Maybe
book.
that's why
It
I'm
counts.
doing what I'm doing. The first dead body I
3,
saw on the
Jesus.
job was also terrible. I was 18.
Don't say it was a kid.
He said when he was 3.
I know.
Oh, his best friend when he was 3. I imagine his best friend was probably similar.
Yeah.
I mean, you wonder if like sometimes things that happen in your childhood inform how you become an adult, right? Like that could have somehow built this curiosity around death and maybe kind of carved his path in life. You never know. Yeah.
At the time, I was working at a funeral home in my hometown.
Sounds terrible, though.
I've been working there for maybe a week, or 2. Someone came in, and my boss was like, Victor, I think it's time, like if you're earnest about this, I think it's time for you to go back and just see what it's all about. So I went back and got gowned up, went back to the prep room for the first time ever, and there was an 18-year-old girl on the table who died in a car crash around graduation time. And that was awful, because there's no better way to see yourself on the table than to see someone your same age. And I just sat down, almost passed out, and sat down in this chair and just watched this young girl who'd been autopsied get embalmed. And then the next day, I went back and did it again, and it was an infant.
addicted.
And then after that,
no.
everything has gotten much easier. But there's my harrowing introduction to dead bodies.
18-year-old fresh graduate to infant. I guess that's one way to get your feet wet in the industry. Think about like the jobs I've had in the past. It's like, oh, I have to shadow. I got to learn how to make a couple drinks behind the bar. It's like, oh no, for Victor's job, you got to sit and watch freshly dead people.
Like, oh, I don't feel like going to work today.
getting bombed, dude.
Shut the hell up.
But like anything, I'm sure you become desensitized to it. But at the same time, like even like we have friends that are ER nurses, people that see death a lot. I would think it's no shade to Victor, but more emotionally jarring to work in a situation where you're seeing people die.
Like you're trying to prevent
you're
them
trying to
from
prevent them from dying. Like ER,
save
like
them,
ER
and
doctors,
you can't do
nurses.
it.
I can't imagine that has to be the most emotionally job ever. Versus like at least in
It
Victor's
takes a
case,
special kind.
yeah. And I feel like you have to compartmentalize and disassociate,
You have
or
to.
else you wouldn't be able to figure it out. And similar to Victor's job, you get desensitized enough, you're able to compartmentalize it and have it live in a separate part of your brain than most of your emotions and feelings, I guess.
What was your emotional state those first couple of times?
Well, okay, so my parents had backgrounds in psychology, actually. And so I came home from like that first terrible day. And they were really, really concerned. And they're like, are you sure you want to do this? Don't you want to quit? And the answer was, yes, I don't know why I'm doing this and I do want to quit, but I knew I had to power through. And so I just I told them I'm going to keep doing it until I can't do it anymore. And I'm still doing that today.
All these years later.
Gosh, what a lovely phrased question. Do you sew people's orifices up? Yes, sometimes. So one of the things we are very concerned with when we prepare a body is leaking, right? Because we're mostly water.
is this maybe where
and water
the intro
likes to
question.
run downhill, as you might say. Yeah. So leaking is a problem. I don't sew up the lips or anything. I think that's a myth. Don't do that. I don't like sew up the butt. That'd be weird. If there is a very substantial anal leak, I'll pack the butt with some cotton. But other orifices like
some cotton?
Like, if someone has a leaky willy, you can tie a piece of string around that. It's not very fun to do. I feel weird doing it, but it works.
A leaky
When you're
my
embalming,
God.
to gain access to the circulatory system, usually the right carotid artery is a big one that we go for. There'll be a little incision along the collarbone, the clavicle. And so that incision has to be sewed up. So I actually like sew skin on every body I embalm. So I'm actually a pretty good little seamster. What's the worst injury you...
Oh, terrible question. Hold on.
I like this one though. I like the worst injury.
You do?
I kind of like some like the real life story stuff.
What's the worst injury you've seen
That's dark.
to a body?
Sorry.
Interesting question. One, I should preface it, I do like to think about bodies as people, but sometimes when there is a very grievous injury, it's helpful to think about it as only a body for a little bit, especially while you're working on it. I once took a call for 2 ladies whose cars got stuck on train tracks.
Car accident.
And they were both killed by a train.
There you go.
And so I had 2 autopsy bodies back to back of these poor little old ladies. So I had broken bones that I got back into place while I was embalming. That was pretty gross. Broken bones are icky. I've had a couple other injuries where the head has been split open, or gunshot wounds, especially self-inflicted gunshot wounds are uniformly awful. While I see a lot of death, it usually looks like pretty identifiably human. It looks like a person, but when someone has removed the top half of their head with a large gun, that is something even I don't like to see. So there are sometimes really gross things that a person has to deal with, and you just suck it up and do it, mostly out of love, weirdly enough. You do it because you love the people that are suffering through the loss. So for instance, with one gunshot wound that I'm thinking of, there was nothing really left of the head. So then we laid the gentleman out, and his parents got to come into my funeral chapel, and we had him kind of bagged up, but we had his arm out, so at least his parents could like hold his hand. So yeah, you deal with some nasty stuff, but I think at the end of the day, it's for something good. So that's what you have to keep in mind when you're dealing with things that really make you want to puke.
The parallels are really there between working with living humans and dead bodies.
Sure.
I mean, there's like, think about when you work in, say, an emergency room, for example, or whatever kind of practice. You don't want to deal with everything that you're dealing with. Like, some of the things are not your favorite thing to manage, but you got to do it all. You get whatever you get, and you just handle it.
Yep, and you have to do it because it's the right thing to do for the person and their families who are,
Yep.
You know, it's different when you're grieving after a loss versus like in a situation where someone is critically hurt and like you don't know if they're going to make it or not, similar type of thing. But yeah, I'm curious too, like there's situations where he said like you wouldn't, obviously like you wouldn't uncover the head in that case. So it's like give him a hand. But like, yeah, there's situations where you can't have an open casket,
Correct.
obviously. Like you have
Correct.
to just...
I wonder if they do a situation where they have like half covered.
So you can
like,
see the face or
yeah,
something?
and then, no, so you can not see the face. I would say like cover the top half and just have like the body.
Sure.
You know, there's like closures or is
Of
there?
the casket?
Yeah, like just have like the head
you-
covered and then like
I suppose
hands.
you could.
I don't know.
I suppose you could.
I haven't been to that many funerals.
Are you afraid of death? That's a good question.
Are
for a
you
mortician.
afraid to die?
That's
I
interesting.
am not. I'm not afraid to die. In a practical side, I have lots of life insurance, so I'm sure my family will be fine. They would
Boy,
miss me.
me too.
Love him
But
so
I'm
much.
not. There's so many worse things than dying, right? There's so many sufferings that are worse than the release of death. I think just accepting fate and just letting life roll on. Like death is that part of life, and maybe it's not even the end of life. I have to believe that there's something more as well. So no, I'm not afraid to die,
spiritual,
not one bit. I could die tomorrow, and I'd be sad for my family who I leave behind and my friends and all you lovely people on the other end of the Lad Bible camera. But it'd be okay. The world would carry on as it does after every single
Your
person's
besties
death.
at Lush
And
Life?
I'm not that special. There is something about the universality of death that everybody who's ever been in a history book, right, has done it. Every single person. And so why should I be so presumptuous that I'm the first one, or I should be scared when every single person you've ever read about in the book has also shuffled off their mortal coil and walked into eternity, and I should not be afraid of that either.
What a fucking linguist, dude. Shuffled off their mortal coil.
You guys,
Absolute
you got some
badass.
competition with the
Yeah,
words.
I don't even think Victor needed a ghostwriter for the book. I'm not sure, you know what I'm saying? Most people get it, but he might have just
I'll
whipped
let you
that
know
up.
what I think when I get through
He
it.
might have whipped that up himself. What a guy.
And it's a great big mixed bag, and it's just part of the human condition. How are you not depressed? I get this question all the time. I'm not depressed because I think when you face your own mortality every day, you learn a little something about living. And I love life. Life's beautiful and wonderful and inexplicable and unpredictable. And I don't get depressed. Like if you had to like stare down the barrel of death every day, I think it helps a person prioritize those things in their life. But no, I'm not depressed. It's okay. Life is good and beautiful and wonderful, and the fact that I work around like the grim realities of it is no different than like an accountant working around the grim realities of numbers, right? I would never choose to do that job, and yet some people walk home happily from it, and same with me as an undertaker. What's your body count? Wink. Okay, my actual body count is 1.
I'm so happy we saw that.
Let's go, dude. He is a full-on.
Wait, I missed.
He goes, my actual body count is 1. He's a classic, the most pure soul on the internet.
I told you it wasn't weird.
Meet the love of your life, save yourself for her.
You did the same thing for me, it's fine.
Sounds, obviously, as did you. Sounds like a man of faith, I would imagine, or at least believes in some sort of spiritual existence beyond death. But I mean, come on, wink.
Okay, my actual body count is 1.
Love it.
But the dead body count of how many bodies I've handled, I don't know, thousands, probably.
Yeah.
My body count was a little higher in college, you know what I mean? Because I worked in a cadaver lab. And in the cadaver lab, we were working, we were around hundreds of bodies that would go in and out and come. And so I worked with what was called the bequest program at the University of Minnesota. You bequeath your body to science. I also worked in the cadaver lab, which was very interesting. You had the doctors who were like doing all the sciencey medical things, and then you had the mortician schmucks who were, just carting bodies around and embalming them and cleaning out the tables, the dissection tables. So like imagine a human like reduced to like 2-inch by 2-inch cubes, and there's like a big pool of fat in the bottom, and you gotta like drain it out and wash it down. It was gross. So yeah, like the grossest thing I can think of that I...
Wait, so he did, do you go to school for...
He talked about that in
Mortician? He did, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
yes.
There's some sort of training. I don't know if you need like a formal 4-year degree. Maybe you do. I can't remember.
I don't remember how many years, but he talked about it. You definitely need
training.
A degree.
Yeah, for sure.
Learned from my time there is hemisected penis, cut in half. It just still makes me want to barf.
Yeah.
But yeah, so thousands is my body count.
Hemisected, so that's different than die. So it's like
hemisphere,
Oh,
so
that
half,
way.
Half. He said it went in half.
And more in college. Are there ever maggots in bodies? Yes. Yes, there are maggots in bodies sometimes, especially bodies that have been unattended. It's very icky. They like to live in the face.
Are there maggots in the bottom of our trash can during the summer
Also,
when
yes.
it sits on the heat? Yes.
Also, yes.
Maggots have to be one of the grossest things on planet Earth, right?
no.
They just feed off dead bacteria,
All right.
basically. But in the face even. So when you see that in
like
the
the
movies, it's not just Hollywood. Yeah, it's not just Hollywood. Coming straight from the source.
I had once took care of a gentleman for another funeral home who had been found outside in his yard. I got him out of the cooler to start embalming him and get him ready for his funeral. He, of course, died also face down. So what I did, one, is I got a wet towel and I wrapped it over his face, and then I cinched it as tight as I could with a stick and then tied it. So I had this like tight cinch around his face to bring the swelling down. But as I was embalming him and all this like gelatinous blood that had coagulated was coming out, all of a sudden ants started crawling out of the crevices of his body. He was a large man, and there were ants everywhere. So then I grabbed the pesticidal spray and killed all those ants, but then kept finding them everywhere. And so then I had to stop what I was doing and just go like full-on Orkin man. It was gross. It was gross. All right, here we go. Worst body fluid to deal with.
So like,
Well,
I guess
deal
this does
mostly
prove
with
the point that
blood.
like, if he still does get disgusted by things. Like, you're dealing with dead bodies, which is gross, but then there are things that can make it even more disgusting. And
Like ants
he's not
going through your circulatory system, ants.
Yeah, he's not so desensitized that he's unfazed by these things. Like, they stick around in your brain.
Yeah, and even if you handle it well, you're aware of what is ultimately disgusting versus what's not. Like some people wouldn't handle it.
Circulatory
And maggots are
system.
worse than ants, but
For sure.
yeah. Here he's talking about the worst bodily fluid. This is probably going to be the poop story. If I had to guess from the
But you want to
intro.
know the truth? The worst body fluid, if you can call it a fluid, is like poo. It's so gross. I did an embalming a couple nights ago.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And a person would not stop pooing. And so then I had to stick the hose up their bum and then flush it all out, and their belly got all distended, and then you push on the belly to push the poo out.
moly.
And it's just this nasty poop water, and nobody likes it. But it's for the greater good, because you don't want that poo to leak out at a different time. Ooh, I like this one. Okay. What are most people's deathbed regrets?
Why would he know that?
Wow. I would say it all comes down to time, right? How you spend your time is how you live your life.
Yes.
I've had plenty of people who maybe they bring in their own obituary, right? And it reads like a CV, reads like a resume, and it has all the things they've done and all the jobs they've had and all the positions they've held. And then when you sit down with the family and you start talking, that's like the only thing they know about their mom or dad is all the stuff. And they don't have this like wonderful, beautiful relationship that we should have with our loved ones before they die. When you talk very frankly with people, like I've visited people before they've died on their deathbeds, and the ones who are maybe not afraid to leave this life or have had a happy life, say they've spent their time well and they've spent their time in relationship. So I can't speak for everyone, but I think it's gotta be time. It's gotta be time that like if you don't wanna have that regret, spend your time with your loved ones while they're living.
Love it.
Yeah. No one's ever been like, man, I wish I spent that extra day at the office and got that extra thing done for that extra.
Got that promotion.
For that extra few dollars, you know? It's not. It's just the people you love, the relationships, being with those around you. Totally agree. It's so much easier said than done, though, when you're in the throes of the everyday cacophony of normal life, trying to get by and trying to succeed and trying to do all this.
Easier said than done.
It is. But hindsight's a real bitch, I feel like, when you're older, you know,
your deathbed.
Yeah. And the sad part is some people never get to have that moment of hindsight or clarity, and
Correct.
life's taken from them before they can maybe, and I'm not always the best at it either, but try to make sure we're spending time together, seeing family, being with the kid, being with the son. It goes by like this.
What if someone dies with an erection?
It goes away, probably.
I've never had anybody die with an erection yet.
It's definitely happened.
I'm not sure how
heart
it
attack,
works.
see you
You know,
later.
it's a nervous response, right? There's the physicality of the thing, but there's a nervous response. So I'd have to believe that when the nervous system and the brain, right, stops working, that the erection goes away.
Yes.
But I don't know for sure. I have embalmed bodies where inexplicably all the pressure ends up in the and it becomes an erection again. And then that also.
I did not expect him to say
I know.
For such an eloquent, like you think
I
say
know.
the penis.
He's just using different words.
In the just a full of blood. Love it.
In the and it becomes an erection again. And then that also eventually goes away when the abdominal pressure goes down. But that doesn't happen very often. I've heard of people calling it angel lust, but I've only had that happen like twice in my career, so not super common.
Not a lot at all.
Yeah, there you go. One piece of advice you'd give about dealing with grief. Okay, you should feel okay about whatever feelings you're having at the moment. So I think they used to talk about the stages of grief, and I think that is nonsense. That's like the idea that grief is this linear thing, and first you're gonna be sad, and then you're gonna be angry, and then you're gonna bargain. You know, no, that's nonsense. Instead, there's this idea out there that I like a lot more called the grief loop, okay? And you have this circle, and maybe like anger and grief and bargaining and sadness, they're all on there. And what you are is you're in the middle of the loop, and you just bounce around to all the ideas, maybe like in the same day, maybe in the same hour. Maybe it takes you a long time, right? And you hit these, or maybe you don't hit them. And then at some point, you're gonna find yourself outside the loop, right? And it's bigger out there, right? But you might touch back on the loop from the outside more infrequently, and that's okay too. So yeah, my advice is just feel whatever feelings you're feeling, and like don't feel weird about it. Don't feel like someone's judging you about it. I'm certainly not. Like if you want to be angry at your dead loved one, do it. Or if you want to be like sad about it forever, do that too. If you never want to get over it, that's also fine. Like we're all human, and I think we just need to feel those things. Yeah. Okay.
Grief loop.
Last question.
All right, last question. This is good. The work you do is amazing. Thank you. I could never do it.
There you go. A question from us too. Not a question, just a statement.
Yeah.
Thanks, Vic.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you for the book as well, and for being so eloquent with the way you talk about this thing. It's a subject I never would have ever been interested in until we watched that first Wired video 5 years ago. I was like, all right, this guy, he knows how to talk.
Like it's not exactly a question, but it is something
Fuck too much with body count of one. But.
Oh my god. I knew you were gonna go there.
His sweet wife. It's why I couldn't help myself. Sometimes the blood fills up the.
Hear a lot, how in the world do you do this? Or I could never do it. And I don't know if that's true. I could probably train you how to do some of the grim stuff. And I think as you do it, you get acclimated. But really, I think the hardest part is working with the living. That's universally the hardest part. Part of that is you learn a lot of patience along the way, because people that are dealing with grief are not rational all the time. And then you just learn to do everything you do with love. You do silly things for love. If someone asked you to do something really dumb, right? They'd be like, oh, change this flower out with this flower, rearrange the chapel, right? But if someone asks you to do it, you just do it and you try to do it lovingly. They think this is important. If they think it's important, maybe it is. And so, just learning patience is how you learn how to do it. The kind of gruesome hard skills, anybody can learn that if you're dumb enough and stubborn enough to go through mortuary school and where I have.
Well, I don't know about you, but I enjoyed that episode. I don't know if we're just crazy. I don't think we are. I think other people like this kind of stuff as well.
It's a nice break from the we normally do to see something kind of educational, but also
and
enjoyable.
Just very real.
Yeah, and very real, that episode particularly.
I'm looking forward to reading the book, honestly.
This isn't there's no collaboration paid endorsement. When he reached out to Mrs. Lush and said he had a book, I was like, listen, I've enjoyed this guy's content for years. The least I could do, since we're doing another video on him, it came out a month ago, is to talk about his book, because he's given us plenty of content over the years, and he's enjoyable to listen to. And if that video is any indication, he's clearly a bit of a linguist and knows how to talk and explain things in a very digestible, enjoyable way. So good luck to Victor, first of all, in the book launch. Congratulations. Thank you for allowing us to use your content over the years. And thank you, Wired, whoever publishes it. And best of luck to him. And thank you guys for watching. And if you were interested in the video, check out the book. You might like it.
He also has a podcast now as well.
He has a podcast as well. God bless. Godspeed and thank you, one and all. Victor Sweeney, legend. See you in the next one.
Bye-bye.
Peace out.